You can come to my house. There's the whole pan. They were so
You're
mad.
broke.
How else would we,
It was my
explain
birthday.
it?
Isn't it if like,
Broke.
have like a bunch of like loans and stuff?
No.
But you're not bringing in enough to pay it back? And
Okay.
then can't you file for this like some bankruptcy or like goes away or something, maybe 2 or 3 years?
If it goes away,
Well, it's like 6 years. I filed for like 11 bankruptcy or something like that. I think is it like a break or something like that?
Chapter 11 page.
Yeah, Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I was thinking it'd be like a break. That's what Bill Gates just did, like last year.
yeah, it's to get them back kind of on their feet, in a sense. So it's kind of like a start over. But I don't think you want to do this multiple times. Because it,
Till 5.
not if you, no, it's.
That's what all the farmers
Oh.
Because you guys didn't want to do it.
Thank goodness.
They got a bunch of payout.
So, basically when a business or yourself continue to operate at a loss, alright? Debts, your debts are more than the assets that you have are worth. Okay? So the courts can actually declare this on your business. And if the court does this, then they would, put somebody in charge of all of your assets, which is called a trustee. And that person then, or company, would sell off all of your assets and see how much you, how much you could get out of it. So, if you're looking for like a first-time house, being a first-time house owner, just got married, this is a really good way of getting cheap houses. Is to find places that were through bankruptcy. So the bank would sell this back off, right? If your asset was your house, the bank would then take that and sell it off, and you'd probably get a really good price on it.
Why would it be cheap?
Well, just because the bank doesn't need a house. You know what I mean? So the bank's gonna basically get what they need to cover their expenses, and then they're gonna sell it. So you can actually look these up on like the internet, and there's a special like category for this. So it's something to think about. And by no means is it, you know, like a bad
Why? This is what we
place
do
or anything.
with the speaker.
When you go through this process, this is honestly, I honestly didn't know anything about this. Your assets have to pay all the legal costs first. So there's gonna obviously be paperwork and lawyers and that kind of thing to make, or to start the process. Your assets have to cover that first. Your assets also have to cover any claims that are written by the law. So those two things have to get done first. And then everything else, if there's any money left over, would go to individual claims. So for instance, and this is just instance, Easton files for bankruptcy, and so he has his assets, they pay off all of his legal costs, but Landon and Derek and Donald each had business with him. So you would claim something, whatever you wanted, whatever you thought you were owed, okay? You would send that to this trustee, and you would say, okay, Landon would say he owes me $2,500, Derek says $4,000, and Donald says $6,000. As a business, okay? You're not gonna get all of that probably back. You're kinda out of luck. But you get a percentage of that, which they call the cent per dollar. So they would figure out how much is left over and how many claims are actually given towards that person or that business, and then they would distribute the rest of the assets by a percentage. So they would figure it out, and let's just say that you were getting 43 cents per dollar. So then Landon's, what did I say, $2,500? He would take his $2,500 times 43 cents, and he would get that per dollar. So he wouldn't get the entire money. He wouldn't even get half of his money back, but at least he gets something back. That makes sense, what we're saying there?
So the trustee get like a percent of what he sells, or?
No, I would guess that this is just like somebody from the bank, so that's their job. They handle all of the bankruptcies and stuff. Yeah, it's not like a commission deal. Try to jack up the prices. That's why you would look for those kind of houses to buy, because they just are gonna get rid of them anyway, and that's that person's job in the bank or the whatever. Okay, so to figure this out now, you are going to take the cash available for the creditors and divide it by the total creditor's claim. And we'll show you a couple examples of this. But I really honestly didn't know that happened. I didn't know how you got your money. To me, if you went bankrupt, you didn't have anything, right? Well, the way that this makes it sound like, yeah, you couldn't run your business for a couple years and you're basically not ever even coming close to breaking even. So where your assets would be coming from would be then to sell your building, all the things inside, and so on and so forth. Okay, so then you would have an accumulation of that money, and that would be the remaining assets that you had. So again, you could apply for this again and kind of start all over, but then if you do this, your credit's not going to be good as a person the next time, or when you start over. Okay, so that's all that it is in this section. That's it.
So like, if you owe someone like big money,
That person's.
yeah, you don't have big money, so like, they just kind of give you what you get after like all the legal stuff's paid for it.
Right.
So then they have nothing, but what if they come back and like, better?
Then I think they could probably go after him
They like
the
sue
second
or-
time. Yeah. But I honestly can't answer that question. That's a good question.
Well, now I'm pretty sure if it's like land that you were paying off or something, then you just have to give the land back.
Oh, yeah.
So then they just get it back.
And that would be, honestly, if you knew you were going down that road, you would probably try to sell that land off beforehand, because you could get probably a lot more than that person that we're talking about from the bank's gonna try to get.
I don't know if they were just.
They're gonna probably try to just get rid of it, so they're gonna give it to, whoever's the best. Or if it's like land, like farmland, that next person right next door would probably come out and say, hey, I do it for whatever price. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say in that situation, I would get rid of my stuff, and then I would have some kind of assets at least, because I'm gonna probably get half of it if I go through the bank.
So then why would somebody go to the bank even?
I don't think they have a choice. And they don't really see it coming, and then it's just, that's a more of a pride thing at the end that you can't admit to yourself or to anybody else that it's gonna happen. All right, so turn to page 538. Letter A. This is just the basic one right here. So a store is declared bankrupt. Creditors' claims total $420,000. After the assets are sold and bankruptcy costs are paid, $150,000 is left for creditors' claims. Okay? So originally there was $420,000 worth of creditors' claims. At the end, after they paid their necessary bills, there's only $150,000 left of their assets. So you're going to take basically what you have left over as your assets, which is the $150,000, and divide it by the total number of creditors' claims. So in this problem right here, you're going to take the smaller number and divide it by the bigger number. 150,000 divided by 420,000. And so what percent of their claims will the creditors get? These guys would only get 36% of what they claimed. So if we go back to our thing, Landon said $2,500, you'd only get 36% of $2,500.
Now that's getting shafted.
Right. So you're only getting basically a third of it instead. But at least you're getting something, right? So letter A was kind of the generic one. Letter B gets a little bit more involved. Fairmont Incorporated was declared bankrupt and its assets sold for $261,000. legal costs of bankruptcy and other claims that must be paid first. And again, the claims, like I said, that must be paid would be like mortgages and things to the bank. All right, they're gonna always get their money. So that was $71,600. The total of the creditor's claims was $420,000. Okay, so the first thing that you're gonna do is take your total assets, which was $261,900, and subtract it by your necessary bills, which is $71,600. All right, take that total and divide it by 420,000. Because again, 420,000 is the grand total of all the claims that were made towards your business or yourself. So if you do that, you get what? Anybody do it? How much?
45%.
45%. So make sure you essentially look at this as a decimal or turning it into cents. So here you want to round to cents. That's 2 places, Mom. Okay? So, in a sense, if you look through the chapter, they're going to take 100 cents times this decimal. Well, we just basically did that. We turned it into cents. So it's saying that you're going to get 45 cents per dollar that you have. So if this company, Tricol, said that, or made a claim of $2,700, how much do they get? So you're gonna take your $2,700 times whatever you just figured out, which Jonathan said was 45 cents. And Tricol would get $1,215 of their $2,700. So again, they didn't even get half, but at least they got something out of it. And so again, then it would go per person or per company that made a claim towards them, if you were doing business with them.
So is that percent, it's like, the percent is the cents?
The percent turns out to be the cents, yes. So you take that percent and you just think of it as money. So you're gonna do the division, it'll give you a straight percent, which is a decimal, but essentially that turns into dollars or cents. Okay? So that's all I gotta do for today. Alright? So last assignment.
About time.
That's assignment 20.
I'm so
Thank
hungry.
Let's go. Can we make it like one problem, that's the last one?
Yeah, some of you need points to pass.
Wait, I don't have a.
Get it,
You know, it's gonna be so great.
You guys have to do another chapter?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Ah,
Heroes, not just like, heroes, are you not gonna do math next year?
Just take this class.
It's gonna be on material, but.
Yeah, that's. Okay, Gunny.
Did he?
Should we get a bunch of centuries? Centuries, these.
Yeah, I hate you. I don't even know if you take it. Actually, take it, Jennifer. It's okay. Just come in and paper.
I have a feeling half the day tonight.
Yes.
They're always gone.
Go get the bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me.
What?
What? I and I were having a conversation.
Okay.
Or what are you gonna do about it?
Nothing, because you cried about me being so right yesterday.
Yeah, you told me to shut up.